Welcome to Mind Blow, your daily dose of what's happening around the world. Subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. On an August morning in 2025, a stunning announcement from Malacanang Palace reverberated worldwide. The Philippines had signed a sweeping security pact with the United States, Australia, and key Western allies. This was no routine agreement, it marked a decisive pivot, signaling Manila's resolve to defend its sovereign rights in the South China Sea. For years, the Philippines had walked a diplomatic tightrope, hedging between the US and China. This pact shattered that balancing act. The agreement committed the Philippines and its allies to unprecedented cooperation, transforming a regional dispute into a global test of resolve. By internationalizing its security concerns, Manila drew a clear line against expansionist ambitions. The pact created a credible deterrent. An attack on one would concern all, ending the era of gray zone tactics. The announcement was a bold assertion of Philippine sovereignty and a response to years of maritime encroachment and public frustration. For the Philippines, this was more than a security deal. It was a declaration that it would not face these challenges alone. The world had just witnessed the birth of a new strategic reality in Southeast Asia. To grasp the magnitude of this shift, consider the Philippines' history of balancing great power interests. Tied to the US by a 1951 mutual defense treaty, Manila also sought economic gains from China, practicing a careful hedging strategy. But as China's maritime assertiveness grew, especially after the 2012 Scarborough Shoal standoff, this balancing act became untenable. The 2016 Hague Tribunal ruling invalidated China's sweeping claims, but enforcement proved elusive. Periods of rapprochement with Beijing brought promises of investment, but little changed on the water. Chinese vessels continued to harass Filipino fishermen. Public disillusionment grew as economic benefits failed to materialize and maritime pressure intensified. The use of water cannons and swarming tactics by Chinese vessels created a sense of urgency in Manila. Policymakers realized that hedging had become a vulnerability, not a strength. The accumulation of grievances and daily erosion of sovereignty set the stage for a dramatic policy correction. The 2025 Security Pact was the inevitable response to years of frustration and rising threats. The new pact is a robust framework for integrated defense, not just a symbolic gesture. At its core, regular, combined maritime and aerial patrols in the South China Sea, with Philippine forces joined by US, Australian and allied warships and aircraft. This unified presence is a powerful deterrent, signaling that the international community is watching. Intelligence sharing is another pillar. Manila now gains access to advanced satellite imagery, signals intelligence, and real-time threat analysis. This leap in situational awareness allows the Philippines to detect and respond to threats proactively. The pact also brings a persistent allied military presence for joint training, enhancing interoperability, and accelerating the modernization of the Philippine military. Capacity-building provisions mean allies will help upgrade hardware, maintain assets, and develop coastal defenses. The goal fosters self-reliance through partnership, not dependency. The Philippines is building a credible defense force backed by international solidarity. This is a long-term investment in sovereignty and security. Beijing's reaction was swift and furious, condemning the pact as Cold War thinking and a threat to regional stability. China warned the Philippines against inviting external forces, hinting at possible economic retaliation, restrictions on exports, tourism, or investment. Yet such moves risk pushing other Southeast Asian nations closer to the West. China may intensify gray zone activities in the South China Sea, testing the new alliance's resolve while avoiding direct confrontation. Within ASEAN, reactions were mixed. Vietnam quietly approved, while others urged dialogue and worried about deepening divisions. The pact forces ASEAN to confront the reality of choosing sides in a polarized region. For Filipinos, the response was overwhelmingly positive. National pride surged, and public support for the government soared. Social media buzzed with messages of support, and rallies celebrated the new alliance. The government now enjoys a strong domestic mandate to pursue this strategic direction. The pact is rooted in the will of the people. For Filipino fishermen, the pact brings immediate hope. Men like Ka Obet Santos have long faced harassment and danger in their traditional fishing grounds, driven away by Chinese vessels. Scarborough Shoal, once a lifeline, became a symbol of lost sovereignty and hardship. These fishermen are the human face of the dispute, fueling public demand for a stronger stance. The promise of joint patrols offers comfort, a future where they can fish without fear, protected by Philippine and allied ships. The pact is seen as the first real step toward reclaiming their livelihoods and dignity. For coastal communities, it's not just about economics, it's about justice and national pride. The presence of allies signals that their government stands with them at last. For these fishermen, the pact is a lifeline and a promise that they will no longer face the bullies of the sea alone. Despite optimism, the path forward is fraught with risks. China could retaliate economically, hurting Philippine exports and investment. Manila must prepare by diversifying trade and supporting affected industries. Information warfare is another threat. Beijing may use media and disinformation to undermine public trust and sow division. Countering this requires media literacy, transparent communication, and a united front. Domestically, critics argue the pact compromises sovereignty and risks entanglement in great power conflict. Open dialogue is essential to maintain public support and address concerns. At sea, the risk of miscalculation rises with more military vessels in contested waters. Clear communication and de-escalation protocols are vital to prevent incidents from spiraling. The goal: deter conflict, not provoke it, requiring firmness, restraint, and steady leadership. This pact marks a new era for the Philippines, peace through strength. Diplomacy is now backed by credible deterrence, ensuring Manila's voice is respected. The agreement accelerates military modernization with joint training and support from allies. The goal: a force capable of defending the archipelago from the Bashi Channel to the southern seas. National unity and resolve are crucial to withstand economic and information pressures. Sustained public information campaigns will keep citizens informed and united. The pact is more than a military alliance. It's a statement of hope and determination. The Philippines, with its allies, seeks not confrontation but the preservation of peace and a free, open Indo-Pacific. In a world of rising giants, there is strength in unity, courage, and a steadfast commitment to sovereignty.